What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Fantasy Six Pack YouTube channel for the Week 2 Waiver Wire episode. I'm your host, Dylan Clemons, and I'm here to bring you my top 6 waiver picks of the week. But before we jump into that, I just want to remind you to please smash that like button. Please subscribe if you're not subscribed to the Fantasy Six Pack YouTube channel already. We appreciate it. And then head on over to fantasy6pack.net/plans and check out our memberships. You get access to our award-winning rankings. You get access to our channels in Discord where you can talk to us about fantasy baseball, fantasy football, DFS, whatever you want. You have access to all of us analysts. It's just a great tool for a small price. You can ask us any personalized questions, anything you want. The Discord is absolutely fantastic. And if you sign up for one of those memberships, you can actually get more players that you can target outside of these 6 guys that I'm talking about as well. But those are behind the paywall, so you got to sign up. But without further ado, let's jump right into it with my first waiver wire ad, and that is Kenneth Gainwell. I guess we should have listened to the beat reporters when they were talking about how this could be Kenny Gainwell's backfield, because he took the bulk of the carries. He had 14 attempts for 54 yards, which isn't super efficient. That's under 4 yards per carry, but he caught all 4 of his targets, which was nice to see, for 20 yards as well. Just finishing shy of 10 half PPR points, putting him around RB2 numbers. But with him doing this, they healthy scratched Rashad Penny, who they picked up in free agency, and DeAndre Swift only played 19 snaps, which is just wild to me. And Gainwell played 41. And then Boston Scott only played 8. So this is looking like this is Kenneth Gainwell's backfield. He's running behind the best offensive line in football in Philadelphia. And then coming up this week, he has a juicy good matchup against the soft as Charmin Minnesota Vikings defense. So he could and should put up at least RB2 numbers for your lineup as well this week. I should put a disclaimer in that he did not practice on Monday, so that's something to keep an eye on. But if he ends up being a full go, I like Kenny Gainwell this week. Next up, we got Kyren Williams. This was the biggest head-scratching storyline of the day for me. He outsnapped Cam Akers 53-28. I'll just let that sink in for a second. Cam Akers is just letting us fantasy owners down at the beginning of the year again. Kyren Williams outscored him 17.4 to 8.9 in fantasy points. And the only reason why Akers was that good was because he got in the end zone on a 4th down. I don't expect Kyren Williams to outsnap Cam Akers every single week, but I do expect him to keep this role in this offense as the 3rd down back, as the pass catcher. He did only see 2 targets, but he caught both of them. Okay. Unfortunately, this week, he is going up against the San Francisco 49ers, who are just absolutely brutal against running backs. They didn't allow a 100-yard rusher last year. They didn't allow 1,000 yards on the season. So that matchup isn't great. But after that, he gets Cincinnati, Indianapolis, Philadelphia, and the Cardinals. Some pretty solid matchups in there. And even if the Rams get down in games like we think they should, he still should be okay with getting the passing down work. The next guy I want to talk about here, our first wide receiver, and that's Zay Jones, who is completely under-rostered right now at just around 30%. We were wondering who was going to be the 2 starting wide receivers in 2 wide receiver sets. If it was going to be with the addition of Calvin Ridley. Was it going to be Calvin Ridley and Christian Kirk, or was it going to be Calvin Ridley and Zay Jones? Well, we found out, and it was Zay Jones. He played 62 snaps compared to Christian Kirk playing just 42. So Christian Kirk pretty much just came in on 3 wide receiver sets while Calvin Ridley was lining up on the opposite side of Zay Jones. This is great news, considering Zay Jones also played the most snaps out of any wide receiver there was. He caught a touchdown this week, and he also saw 7 targets. He's he could be the second highest target getter in this offense. And we all want a piece of this Jacksonville Jaguars offense because they're going to be very good. This could be a disclaimer. However, though, with Christian Kirk being matched up with Kenny Moore this past weekend against Indianapolis in the slot, and that is a tougher matchup. However, I'm all in on Zay Jones, and he needs to be rostered in 100% of leagues and not just 30%. That's outrageous. The next guy I got here, another wide receiver, Robert Woods. All right. He's not the sexiest name on this list, but he could get the job done, and he did a decent job this past week. He caught 6 of his 10 targets for 57 yards, guys. The 10 targets number just sticks out to me so much. They were down most of the game, so they had to keep throwing. But, guys, that's going to be every week with this Texans team. They're always going to be down. And I get it. It's pretty hard to trust CJ Stroud, but it looks like Robert Woods is someone he can trust in this offense and kind of lean on when he needs to get the ball out of his hands quick. John Mechie did not play. He was inactive for this game, so that could hurt things when he comes back. That could hurt Robert Woods' value. But I still think he could be okay, and he might be worth a decent waiver claim. Yeah, I think he's just going to be very solid. But the next guy we have up here is Puka Nacua, another guy from this bad Rams offense. It's surprising to me as well, but he saw a massive target volume. He saw 15 targets, guys, caught 10 of them for 119 yards. Just absolutely wild. Just sliding into the slot position for the injured Cooper Kupp. I definitely did not expect that by any means. Like I mentioned above, he does play San Francisco, which isn't an ideal matchup by any means because they're a very solid defense. But if he's just going to keep seeing this volume like this, and we expect the Rams to be down quite a bit, I think we have to be in on spending a waiver claim, spending a decent amount of fab on Puka Nacua. It was a great first game from the rookie, and let's just hope he keeps seeing that type of volume. And then my 6th and final guy here, guys, this is our first tight end that I'm going to mention, and I really wish I had him in my sleepers video that was on the YouTube channel, and that's Hayden Hurst. It looks like Bryce Young, the rookie, number 1 pick, is really leaning on Hayden Hurst and kind of using him as a safety blanket. He didn't look comfortable in the pocket, and it was a little sketchy, but he was able to find Hurst. He targeted him 7 times. He caught 5 of those 7 targets for 41 yards, and he found the end zone and led this Carolina Panthers team in targets. DJ Chark didn't play. He's inactive, dealing with a hamstring injury, and we know hamstring injuries can linger. Adam Thielen's already banged up, so it's not looking great for him. Who else is left? Terrence Marshall Jr.? We got Laviska Shenault? The rookie Mingo? I don't know. I think Hayden Hurst could see upwards of 7-8 targets a game. And with the way tight end is, it's just a wasteland out there. So I think Hayden Hurst could be viable in 10, 12-team leagues. It doesn't matter. Especially if you're like in the Kyle Pitts business. I know he had 6 points, but it feels like a miracle every time he catches the ball. So Hayden Hurst might be worth a look if Kyle Pitts was the tight end that you drafted. But that's my 6 waiver wire targets for this week. If you guys want to see more, head on over to fantasy6pack.net/plans. Sign up for a membership. You can check out the list of guys that are behind the paywall that I also did. So yeah, I'll be here every Tuesday for you, running through the waiver wire. Make sure you hit that like button. Please subscribe if you haven't already. You can follow me on Twitter or X or whatever you call it at dclemons2222. And you can check out all my work over on fantasy6pack.net. Thanks, everybody. I'll talk to you next time.